So one of the things I always get asked about is this little tray and these two extra lighter sockets that other people don't seem to have. So one of the things I never get asked about, because the 3 viewers I have are my grandchildren, and they're like 5, 7, and 9 and don't care, is this little tray with these 2 extra sockets that other Kimbos don't have for lighter sockets. I don't know what they call them now. This is actually all independent of this system. And by the way, this Blue Eddy looks different than you would normally see, because the AC60 that came with this was bad, and Blue Eddy is sending me a new one. So good job, Blue Eddy, thank you. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what this is and why I built it. And the first thing is, it is DeWalt. I have all DeWalt tools, all DeWalt batteries, everything. So I can, if I do have charge issues or whatever, or I just need, I don't have the batteries and I'm storing them for the winter, I can put a DeWalt battery in and use the lights. Now, I don't have the little plugs yet that would go in here, and for the USB A, B, or C, or whatever it is you want, I'm going to order those and get those, but I don't have them yet. But I do have this, and so you would just plug it in. You can see it lights up, and I will show you how I built this. It's not as simple as running the tray to the sockets, because I want it to be 12 volt and not 20. This is a 20 volt system, and most things probably wouldn't care, but some things might. And like the water pump I'm putting into my sink setup that's coming up, it's between 9 and 14 volts. So don't want to burn that up brand new. Okay. So as I was saying earlier, this is independent, and so and it's all attached to this panel here, this piece of wood. So this Baltic birch. So let's just take it out and I will show you how it goes together. So it's just these 4 screws. And then out it comes, and here's the back, totally independent. There's room in here, you can see. So the one thing you want to pay attention to if you're making a little different design is decide to do this is this is aluminum or something, and you don't want it to come in contact with this bus bar at all. So be sure and give yourself enough space over. I'm more than enough for that. It's got like a couple inches, so be thinking about that. But other than that, there's quite a bit of room in there. Okay, so I have it all apart here, and so this is a DeWalt tray. You can get online. It's designed for the 20 volt battery. Comes with a fuse. I think it's a 30 amp. I put a 7.5, and honestly, I think I'd like to go 5 if I can find one, because this is a 6 amp. It's rated at 6 amps, says around the back. This is a DC-DC converter. In other words, it's keeping it DC. It's just changing it from 20 to 90 volts down to 12 volts out. So we have positive, negative in, negative, positive out. Yellow is the positive. Okay, so I put these little connectors on. I wanted to be able to take it apart. I didn't want it soldered or permanently mounted to these parts in case I wanted to change things up. This also I got on Amazon. Just your standard cigarette lighter, but in a form I wanted where I can take the nut off, slide it in this hole, and tighten it up. And I like the screw mounts with the faceplate. You don't have to use that. You can take that off and just have this. Okay, so this is the back side of that plate of wood where this is all going to get mounted on. So except for the tray, which will be on the front. And when you're laying this out, think about the parts that are already in the box. Like right here would be a fuse panel. You want to be thinking about that. You don't want this hitting up against the fuse bus. So these are 1 1/4 inch holes. I just used a hole saw and place them, figure out where you want them accurately. At least drill from the front, not the back, because this could happen. But a way to avoid that, splintering out the back of whatever way you're drilling, is once you get in far enough to get this drill bit through the wood, is come in the opposite side, using that in the same hole, and drilling a little bit just to get past this veneer, and or 1/8 of an inch deep or so. Then continue with your hole the rest of the way, and that way you're not like pushing through. And I was pushing a little too hard, I think, and just splintered out the veneer when I was drilling. Other than that, it went really well. So just keep that in mind and you're good to go. Another little trick I did in the front where the screws went in this is after I got the things in, just before I screwed them all the way down, so I wouldn't be marking on the plastic, I took a black felt pen and just kind of blackened up these screws because I didn't have black screws. And these are just little, I think they're number 6. This is 12 millimeter wide, roughly 1/2 inch. So you want screws that aren't going to come out the other side, at least I do. I use that on everything except these two. They came with this tray and they're a little bit longer, but this tray is also fairly thick where the screw mounts, so works out just right. Okay, and I'll show you how I put it together. So starting on the back side, that's the front. I like these where they open down, not up like often they're put, because when I'm plugging stuff in and if it has a light on or something, this a lot of times covers it up, yada yada. This just kind of flops down out of the way. In my mind, it's much more convenient. And I did do little short starting with a drill, just little starting holes, pilot holes for these screws, very shallow, just enough to kind of get them started, not even to start them, just so they went in the right spot. I don't know if that's really necessary, but it helped, I think. It's up to you, man. Okay, then, okay, so then it's just a matter of, in this case, with this particular converter, it is the tray comes into the in red, and the tray negative comes into the converter negative. And these by the way are just spade connectors, male, female, both covered. I highly recommend using insulated, covered. Obvious, I think. So then on the out, I just kind of did a jumper system where the negative, just crimp them both together, and kind of obvious here. So, and look on your, it is important, it does matter, the positive and the negative, the inside the middle, the very back, the very end of the plug, the little nipple on the end, that is going to be the positive. This outside rim, inside I should say, rim is negative, and the very back is positive. So be sure you put that in right. Also spade connectors. So okay, it's all wired up. Let's see if it works. Hope you have a light. Yeah, it has a little light. We can test. Voila. So now put it in, put it back in the cabinet. And it's a standalone by itself, and I put it far enough over I could put the big boy on there too, 6 amp. And I still not hitting the wall. So this should run a few things for a while if need be. There's your emergency power source for the Kimbo.